Hi, we're out on the range today, so please bear with gunfire you hear in the background. And today, once again, we're talking about shotgun specialty ammunition. This typically comes in a package of 3 rounds. It's also typical that 3 rounds of this will cost more than 25 rounds of more conventional shotgun ammunition. There's a wide variety of these specialty ammunition. There's some that shoot flechettes, there's one that's loaded with 2 projectiles connected by a cable. But what we're talking about today is what's called ripper ammunition, which is a combination of number 12 Birdshot and Thumbtacks. Let me show you a close-up of what it looks like. On your left is the ripper ammunition with Thumbtacks and the number 12 Birdshot. On your right is a conventional 12-gauge shell with number 7.5 Birdshot. 7.5 is considered fairly small, but it's gigantic compared to the minuscule number 12 shot, which is barely bigger than the ball in a ballpoint pen. But how will this stuff pattern? Well, I've got my Remington 870 tactical shotgun with an 18.5-inch cylinder bore barrel. And I'll go back 15 yards and I'll shoot the target on your left with the 12-gauge ripper ammunition and the target on your right with a conventional 12-gauge 2 3/4-inch 1 1/4 ounce of number 7.5 lead Birdshot. Let's see how they compare. So how'd we do? Well, number 12 Birdshot is small and made very small holes, and not very many of them hit the vital center of the target. The larger holes you see are the Thumbtacks, and some of these holes are oddly shaped because they're tumbling. They won't fly straight. Some are hitting sideways, some are hitting backwards. While by contrast, our conventional number 7.5 shot seems to have put a lot of hits in the vital center of the target, and the rest of the hits are significantly bigger than the hits from the number 12 shot. Number 7.5, although small, is still significantly bigger than number 12. But how will this translate into effectiveness on a real target? Let's see if we can put that to the test. Now, for those of you who haven't seen it, this is the meat target. It's leather jacket skin, followed by boneless chicken thigh thoracic muscle, pork ribs, a watermelon to simulate lung tissue. It's that time of year watermelons are available. More pork ribs on the back, 4 layers of t-shirt on the front, 4 layers on the back, and the whole thing followed by the new and improved high-tech fleece bullet stop. And I'll go back 7 yards and I'll shoot it with the 870 loaded with the ripper ammunition, and let's see what kind of effect we get. Well, in looking at the target, the first thing I noticed is that a lot of the number 12 Birdshot pellets and quite a few of the Thumbtacks didn't even penetrate the t-shirt on the front of the target. Now I'll take this thing apart and see what, if any, damage was done to the target itself. Well, I peeled off our leather jacket skin, and what I found was that none of the number 12 Birdshot pellets actually penetrated the skin. 2 of the Thumbtacks did. One was stuck in our chicken thigh thoracic muscle, and the other one was stuck in the pork ribs on the front of the target. So the amount of damage that the ripper ammunition did to this target was just about as close to 0 as you could get, without actually being 0. Now let me wrap up a new meat target and we'll shoot it with our number 7.5 Birdshot just for comparison. Now remember, this was 1 1/4 ounce of number 7.5 lead Birdshot. Hardly ideal anti-personnel ammunition, but it did seem to do quite a bit of damage. The ribs on the front of the target are thrashed, one of the ribs is just shattered. A lot of the pellets were stopped by the ribs on the front of the target, but a lot were not. They went through to do extensive damage to our watermelon lung tissue. A few of the pellets made it through to being stopped by the ribs on the back of the target. Now, we do have a presentation on Birdshot and your home defense shotgun, and you can watch that for more detailed analysis. But the condensed version is that at short ranges, Birdshot can be effective. It can be very effective if you make the right ammunition choices. But is the ripper ammunition one of those choices? You can see it was almost completely ineffective against this target. And so I'm going to say, no, it isn't a very good choice. I think the only thing it's going to rip is it's going to rip you off. Now, some people might say that it could be used as a less than lethal ammunition. Well, as we showed, it certainly is less than lethal, but it's still not a beanbag or a rubber ball type of round. It's Birdshot and steel Thumbtacks. I think in court you would be hard-pressed to say that you were using that configuration with a name like Ripper to be less than lethal ammunition. But the bottom line, I'm going to say it's gimmick ammunition that I cannot find any practical use for. So, as always, don't try this at home on what you call a professional, and thanks for watching the Ripper Ammunition video.